everybody? Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm. We do that as often as we can. Usually, several times per week, we try to do that. And sometimes some weeks go better than others. If you're looking for coaching, would love to be of assistance to you in that way in 2022 and beyond. That can be a helpful thing. And we continue to be connected, committed to the process of helping you find what's best for you in 2022 and beyond. So continue to reach out as you see fit, and certainly would love to be of service to you in that manner. And anyway, this in the ways to reach out at PO Perception on Twitter or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Either one will get you in touch with me or a member of my team. And I gotta grab my phone, so we'll be back in two shakes of a lamb's tail. And again, in simplest form, when you're looking at things like self-love, it can be super challenging for a number of reasons. People often don't want to deal with issues related to self-love because it forces them to look at how they have, to some degree, been punishing themselves for an extended period of time. Self-punishment is one of those things that never goes well because it never pays off. If you're guilty, you're basically being potentially a bad friend or bad partner. The guilt piece is often there because you think you're supposed to be the solution for a lot of people, which ultimately guilt leads to a lack of self-love because you ruminate upon the things that you think you could have done, should have done, would have done differently, had things gone differently. But the problem with that is it leads to a toxic pattern where you're never enough for yourself, and thereby you give leverage to other people who may not mean you well, who may not have your best interest at heart, who may be trying to use your emotions to their advantage or something in that general vein. This then leads to the over-apologizing or trying to make up for things in a disproportionate way. None of that actually leads to any real resolution because the more you over-apologize to a person who is willing to take advantage, the easier it is for them to continue to set up parameters and hoops for you to jump through that are disproportionate, unhealthy, unwell, and ultimately not in your best interest. The next thing is fear of failure. When a person is unwilling or incapable of doing good things in that direction, that fear of failure becomes a super challenging thing, and ultimately there are various things that ultimately can get in the way of your own progress. Understanding how to continually make progress for yourself, but also understanding the ways in which you need to make decisions that lead you in a positive direction, and also understand how to not fear failure because you don't trust your own judgment. The lack of self-trust is another pitfall for many people for a variety of reasons. Lack of self-trust leads to kind of being exploited in many occasions because when a person cannot trust themselves, they don't act in a manner that upholds their best interest very often, which ultimately then leads to challenges as it relates to trying to figure out how to move forward, to do things that are meaningful, to do things that are, less healthy, to do things that are in a negative connotation without even realizing the long-term psychological and emotional effects upon another individual. And when we begin to understand the value of being able to connect on a level of personal responsibility versus personal obligation, it becomes significantly easier to connect in that way and ultimately kind of layer things out in a way that makes sense for everyone involved. So when we begin to do that, we can have more leverage and more power in our daily lives. Hopefully this is helpful. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.